Hey, Rylan here at the Vic Shop. Let's go over the contents of the upgraded charging system for the 99-01 bikes. I found one left in existence. It's been sitting around the shop waiting for me to film this. Back in the day, you could buy this alternator upgrade kit, and here was the part number. And here were the contents, which I'll explain, and it came with a set of instructions. So the old system was 28 amp. This is a new 38 amp system. If you've got a 99-01 bike that is still kicking around with the original system and you want to upgrade, obviously the kit is no longer available. But we can get the parts used from eBay. And if you remember how the Victory bikes are split up, you've got the 99-01 bikes, and then you've got the 2002 model, which is kind of an in-between. It was just a V92. And then you got the 2003 to 2005, the 92-inch models. Anything from 03 to 05 is going to have the same engine and transmission, drivetrain, even if it's a touring cruiser or a Vegas or Kingpin, any model. 03 to 05, the 92-inch. And then starting in 05, they had a 100-inch engine, and that went to 07. So we'll call that 05 to 07 100-inch. So 99-01 bikes were 92s. They're all pretty well the same, except for the transmission. Kind of an in-between year. The first year for the Freedoms was the 02, and then the Freedom kind of came into being fully in 03, still as a 92, and then 05 to 07. So that being said, the upgrade kit consists of a new voltage regulator. Voltage regulator here, and a new stator, and the flywheel that accompanies the stator. And these three are a matched set. So obviously this is going to go inside of the magnet on the flywheel, and they're a matched set. And what this is an 03 to 05 92-inch stator here. And so this would come out of anything that was made 02 to 05, the 92-inch Freedoms. These two would be matched. And then in the 05 to 07s, something's different about this. I know that they changed the plug end, and let's see, the flywheel, no, the flywheel's the same. So the stator changed in 05 to 07, and the only change that I could see is that instead of a female plug, they had a male plug, and same with the voltage regulator. So kind of what I'm getting at here is if you're scouring eBay and you're going to get some used parts to make this kit up, everything needs to be matched. So the stator, the flywheel, and the voltage regulator are all going to have to come off the same series of bike. And so yeah, that's about it. So the voltage regulator that came with the kit was intended for a 2002, and it was super convenient to convert your 99 to 01 because it had this male end which plugs into the stator, and then these long leads that would go up to the battery, and that's an easy way to convert it. Well, they don't make the 2002 voltage regulator anymore. All they have now are, what you'll be looking for is either a 92-inch Freedom, or the 05 to 07. So what you would do, I forgot to get this for the video, is let's say you found on eBay a guy that was parting out a 2003 Vegas, and he had the stator and the flywheel and a voltage regulator to go with it. The voltage regulator would show up, and instead of having this huge long lead, there would be another 2-pin connector. and it's intended to plug into the later model bikes. So what you do is cut off that 2-pin connector and then just extend the red and the black up to the battery, and that would be the modification needed. Same thing if you've got the whole setup from a 100-inch engine from 05 to 07, is that you'll end up having to modify one of the wire ends to get the leads to go straight to the battery, and that's what you'd be looking to do. So I think that's it for the stator, flywheel, regulator needing all to be matched. You can't use the old one, any piece of the old system. They just all need to be from the same series of bikes. So then we come to those. So those are the main portions, and then there's some hardware that's included in the upgrade kit. We'll start with there's a flywheel bolt in here. And so the series of engines, these 99 to 01 bikes in the 2002, they had the same cast crankshaft. And the cast crankshaft had this bolt that holds the stator on, or the flywheel on there, and it's got coarse threads in comparison to its later model one, the Freedom engine. Starting in 03, they used a forged crankshaft. The forged crankshaft used finer tooth threads. And in order to cool the bigger amperage 38 amp system for the Freedom motors, they drilled a hole in the end of the crankshaft bolt where oil comes squirting out and it cools the stator. And so they didn't have that in 99 to 01 bikes. So in 02, they started putting the drilled hole in there when they started the 38 amp as standard equipment. So they've included in the upgrade kit a coarse thread bolt with a hole drilled in the end so that oil squirts out. And this is actually necessary, that you have this special bolt. And the Victory made it, and it is on 2002. So if you find someone parting out a 2002 and it happens to have this specialty bolt, then perfect. That works out great. Otherwise, I think really what you're going to have to do is drill the bolt out. I would take it to a machine shop and have them put a tiny oil hole in here. I didn't think to measure that in advance, but I guess if I was going to put a bit to it, it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch hole, 1/8 inch hole. So let me zoom in on that. So this is what you're going to pull out of your 99 to 01. Excuse me, it's hard to focus here. Come on, baby. So it's got relatively coarse threads. And then this is, something that we would have pulled out of a Freedom motor, 03 to 05, or to 07, excuse me. It's longer, it's got finer threads. See, there's a hole down the center, an oil hole. And so then this is the upgrade bolt that would come with the kit. So it's got the coarse threads and the hole, which on that end was 1/8 of an inch hole. Seems to be slightly smaller there, but I have drilled those out in the past just to achieve this result. And again, that is important to have that oil hole there. I took apart a bike one time that the guy didn't do the oil hole, and the stator was like this black chunk of coal, because it had overheated. Didn't have that oil hole that was cooling it down. So other parts of the kit, since we're talking about the oil cooling, is that it comes with this thing that they call the stator cup. And what it would do is, you've got this old primary cover here, and the instructions tell you to drive this into the casting here, so it sits flush with this cast area. And what that does is it takes a bunch of depth out of this area, because that bolt, when it's all assembled, is right here, and so oil's squirting out and it's going all over the stator and it's cooling it off, and evidently there's too much depth here with these old covers, and so they have you jam this in here. Well, of course, this is no longer available. You could have a machine shop make one. It shouldn't be a big deal for a machine shop to whittle one up. I think probably the easier thing to do would be to just get a Freedom style cover, which I've got over here. Freedom style. And it's already got a shorter depth in here to accommodate the oil splashing out. So the Stator cup takes about 15 millimeters of depth out of that center hole there. And then the next thing is it's got some a series of bolts where the flywheel is bolted onto like some other pieces of the crank, the trigger wheel, and these bolts have a special narrow head on them where it's not typical. These are essential. Again, probably best to just find someone parting out one of those engines and buy the flywheel with the timing wheel bolted to the back with the correct bolts. These are still available from Victory at $13 a piece, and there's 6 of them. Or get them salvaged, from your salvage engine. And then it also had a bigger hold down for the stator wire coming off here. And this is a Freedom style. You could still get it with your salvage engine pieces, or you could probably just make that work. You could probably make that work. But technically, if you're getting a new cover, and it's already got the stator in there maybe, and it's got this, and that was part of the kit. So yeah. Again, make sure that the new flywheel, stator, and voltage regulator are match set. You'll likely have to elongate the positive and negative wires from the regulator to the battery, because it's hard to find the ones with the long leads on them, which are 2002 only. Make sure you drill out the center of the crankshaft bolt so it's got some cooling oil, and then figure out what you're going to do about your primary cover and the depth for that cooling oil. And that should be it. So good luck. Message me if you need anything.